Curtis and Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg. Mr. Charles R. Williams, age 67, of Sylacauga, died at his residence on Monday. Curtis and Son Funeral Home, North Chapel, will announce the arrangements. Charles Thurman Wallace of Harpersville died on November 25th. Funeral service will be today at Curtis and Son Funeral Home, Childersburg Chapel at 11 a.m. Dr. Donald Morris will officiate the service. Burial in the Harpersville Cemetery. Mr. Wallace was a member of the Arkwright Baptist Church in Vincent for some 75 years. Online condolences at curtisondsonfh.com. Curtis and Son Funeral Home, Childersburg Chapel, directing. Homegoing celebration for Mrs. Azola M. Stockdale, age 84, will be Wednesday at 1 o'clock from Lily Hill Baptist Church, with Pastor Curtis Seals officiating. Interment in the Antioch Cemetery. Sims Funeral Service directing. Cody Wayne Haynes, age 20, of Talladega, died Saturday, November 25th. Visitation is today from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. at Talladega Funeral Home. Funeral service will follow at 1 in the chapel of Talladega Funeral Home. The Reverend Stephen Collins officiating. Interment in the Stockdale Baptist Church Cemetery. And Talladega Funeral Home in charge of the arrangements. In other obituary news this morning, Andrew Reed Gambrell, age 26, of Talladega, died November 26. Funeral service will be held Wednesday at 2 p.m. from Ursery Funeral Home Chapel, with the Reverend Fred Milam officiating. The family will receive friends tonight, 5 until 8 o'clock at the funeral home. Ursery Funeral Home in Talladega directing. Online condolences at urseryfuneralhome.com. Many of you may know Sid and Katrina Gambrell. Those are the parents of Andrew. And so Sid is a nurse with a hospice agency and also works at Walmart. And Katrina, I grew up with Katrina, and our thoughts and prayers are with Sid and Katrina and their family in the passing and automobile accident of Andrew Reed Gambrell, age 26, of Talladega. Carl Bright died at his residence on Saturday. He lived most of his life in Talladega. There will be a private family service. He will be buried in Knoxville, Tennessee. In lieu of flowers, you may make donations to the Ribbons of Hope Foundation, 800 Shelton Shore Drive in Talladega. Herschel Muse, age 92, of Goodwater, died at his residence on Monday. Funeral arrangements are incomplete. They'll be announced by Radley Smith Funeral Home. Douglas Wright, age 71, of Sylacauga, died at Brookwood Medical Center on Monday. Radley Smith Funeral Home directing. Graveside service for Benjamin Kyle Live Oak, age 34, is today at Mount Moriah Baptist Church, with the Reverend David Mann officiating. Funeral service for Miss Maddie M. Whetstone, age 70, is today at St. Thomas United Methodist Church in Sylacauga at 2 o'clock, with the Reverend Percy Nolan Jr. officiating. Burial in the Sylacauga Cemetery. Online condolences at communityfuneralhome.org. Miss Whetstone died November 22nd at Coosa Valley Nursing Home. Community Funeral Home, Sylacauga directing. And funeral service for Terry Michael Barnett, age 63, of Sylacauga, will be Wednesday at 2 from the chapel of Radley Smith Funeral Home. The Reverend James Haskins, along with the Reverend Malin Felkins, officiating. Burial in the Evergreen Cemetery. Mr. Barnett died November 25th at Coosa Valley Medical Center. Visitation Wednesday noon until 2 o'clock. Memorial messages can be sent to the family at radleysmith.com. Radley Smith Funeral Home in Sylacauga directing. Of course, Terry was an employee over at Home Depot in Sylacauga and was in the 31st Cavalry of the National Guard in Sylacauga for half a dozen years. Terry is known by a lot of people in town, and I grew up with Terry. And our condolences to the Barnett family in the passing of Terry and Michael Barnett, age 63. These obituaries brought to you by Curtis & Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg. 256-245-4361. For pre-need funerals, burials, or cremation since 1975, it's Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg. And our pre-need director at Curtis & Son is Miss Doris Thrash. And ladies and gentlemen, I see it nearly every day. Of families who are grieving over the loss of a loved one, and they're having to make decisions on the fly almost. And pre-need is a good way to eliminate all that stress at the loss of a loved one. For pre-need information, call Doris Thrash today, 256-245-4361. That's 256-245-4361. Tell Miss Doris that I asked you to come by from Daybreak. That's at Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg.